Good morning, friends. This is Lisa Lajoie with my latest audio blog and conversations about spirituality, life enhancement, inspiration, owning your existence, playing full out, living from the soul, and recognizing that you're here for a powerful intention. You're here for a reason. You're here to ignite something important into the world just from being you, just from being the person that you are. You were chosen for a really important reason, big or small, depending on your perception of reasons to have purpose. And it's important that we all discover what we're doing here in this world, in this place we call home, our temporary home as a spiritual being. I do these audio blogs, first of all, because I love communicating. I think it's so important that we share our wisdom in our lives. And also because I think we need to understand how to turn our lives into the direction and attention that's really important for our inner development. So today I thought a lot about what I wanted to talk about, and one of the things that has been coming up recently is how to stay around positive, influential people and how to learn to say yes to being around those that serve us at the highest level and those that we can serve at the highest level. And serve meaning share and exchange and be a part of. Service meaning love deeply and completely and have compassion for. Give our time, energy, and our hearts to. Not serve from a place of giving, but more of just exchanging and being together in a sacred space. Exchanging love and hope, transformation, new levels of thinking, of thought. It's really important who we're around and what we say yes to in our lives. I've been through a lot of life experiences, and I'm like many of you, we've gone through ups and downs, and when you come from wherever you come from, but if you come from a place of difficulty and you come from a place of struggle and neglect and not having the love that we desire around us and in our life experience, our tragedies, our traumas, the things that open us up, that crack us open and crack us down and break us down all at the same time. I've been thinking a lot about that. It was a very special anniversary for me on August 2nd, and in 1987, on that day, I had a spiritual sober awakening. And I've been blessed, really, really blessed to have had this experience and to be able to have continued to live in it until this time. Something I don't take for granted. I understand the power of destruction, and I understand the power of parts of us that come from our past and our family genetics, and things that just don't connect in the right way when we do them with who we are and our life purpose and our existence here, and I understand what addiction can do to a person. I've lived it a lot and held a tremendous amount of shame and self-hate and self-loathing and lots of experiences I had as a kid until that day. And I learned so many things about people and their hearts, and how messed up I was, and how messed up people can be too. I grew up and I started my life around people like me who were trying to just face their addictions and face their destructions, and learning from them, learning how from those ahead of me, how to be clear about my problem and how to be awakened in my thoughts around having a condition that would basically take my life and rip every single good thing out of me just from the behavior itself and continuing the addiction and the alcoholism that I was living. And it comes from my family. My family is, there's a lot of them. And I don't blame my family for that. I think you just have that kind of inner coding and you don't. There's lots of people who come from families where there's alcoholism is a problem, and it ignites in some and it doesn't ignite in others. I was like the perfect candidate for that addiction and that experience. I was sad. I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of abuse in my life. And, it was just like when that liquid hit my mouth, it made me feel different. And that's what I needed. And don't so many of us seek for feeling better and feeling different than the pain that we're experiencing. And I wanted to talk a lot about that today. I just wanted to talk about how do we break through the veil of pain, and step into ourselves and find peace and love and compassion for who we are, and just open the door to our own possibilities from our own self-love activated. Not an easy task. First I remember for me, I had to realize that I had a problem. That was a huge part of my life, is realizing I have a problem. And that problem is really harming my existence. It's not cool. It's not working out the way I wanted to. I couldn't hold a dream for more than 10 minutes. I couldn't do pretty much anything. By the end, I spent half my life, from the 0 to the age of 23, there was very, very few years in there that were decent. And there was love in them. Very few, maybe 5, maybe. When I was really, really young, I don't remember. I just remember there was a lot of love around me. And I don't remember when my abuse started, but, it broke me down. That was the chipping away at my spirit and who I am. And that pain, we think, whatever, it's all good. But, when you find a solution like alcohol and you're just destined to be an alcoholic, it was the perfect fit and also the perfect storm. It saved me for years, really, from the pain that I was experiencing on the inside from the abuse and how that altered my reality about myself. I remember times where, my mother just broke my inner core spirit, And it's so funny because at the end of my mother's life, her and I there was a lot of healing that occurred over my lifetime. And there was a lot of love that had been built between us, a lot of business that had been talked about openly and honestly, and lots of apologies that had happened. And mostly everything was, faced and overcome between us. Just a couple of things I think that were just too painful that we didn't get to, just from life circumstances. And, I still remember the day, and I'm sure you guys have days like this, the day where she made comments to me that basically changed my reality. And I still, I think some of those core wounds, I'm still recovering from them, let's say, working hard. I shouldn't be the person I am today based on how I lived my life, what happened to me, and, how I lived my own life, and the beliefs that set the tone for my future. I worked hard to prime those apart, and that's why I do this for a living now, making those breakthroughs and helping people learn about those transformations that are just sitting there waiting from the truth. Once we can see it, we can transform it. You can't transform something you don't see. And we can't transform something that we don't want to be honest about. And I remember the first time that I went to get help, and I remember that's what saved me, The people who helped me told me the truth. They said, you have this problem and you're not going to be okay until you face it. And here's what happens to you when you live in this problem. Here's what happens to you. Here's your actions. Here's what you do. Here's how you look. Here's where you break down on the inside. That saved me. The truth saved me. It helped me to understand the problem that I had deep down inside. It helped me to understand where I was breaking down. It helped me understand that I had a condition on the inside of my being, on my body. that I was a broken person emotionally and mentally and physically, and that it was okay for me to face it, unconditionally face it. And I had a lot of growing to do at that time. And today I think back on those times, and I think back on what I went through. And, it's so funny, even in recovery, I had to heal some shame for what I went through, and, some shame in my decisions. And, just being a broken person, we make broken decisions, and that's how it is. And I know a lot of you are suffering like that. I've been doing the work that I do now for a long time, over 15, 20 years now, just doing, intuitive coaching and spiritual transformations, because a spiritual life is my saving grace. And the gift that I had as a clairvoyant opened back up when I cleaned my life up and had this awakening, and I recognized that it was a gift and it was something beautiful, and learned how to use it to help people make transformations. I've downloaded so many healing modalities, and I've learned many healing modalities from beautiful, wonderful teachers and people who are like me, who just want to serve at the highest level, from examples out in the world of masterful, masterful people, moving through life with love and trying to support and make, really wonderful opportunities for others to transform and heal as well. And I love it. I feel so blessed that I'm able to do this today. I feel honored and grateful, still growing. I think I'll always be growing. I don't think there's a stopping point for that. There's so many teachers out there now, and I really love how, we learn from such a variety of possibilities now. Like, I remember for me it was Oprah, Oprah, who opened the door back in the day, over 30 years ago. This was a person who spoke. Tony Robbins, the guy saved me. He used to be on TV every night. I'm telling you, he was one of the things that in the middle of the night, when I was shaking and breaking and going crazy and losing my heart, my mind before my 20s, and in my 20s, I used to I just bump into his commercials because I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't cope. I just couldn't deal with the shadows, and I would listen. He'd just come on TV, and he'd be like his infomercials, and I would just listen to them because he had words that were talking about truth, things that I could relate to. I got hope from those infomercials, and hope from Oprah, and hope from the therapists who told me I was broken and could tell me the truth, and hope from the people who helped me recover and who told me the truth and said, you're fucked up, like, you gotta face it, you're fucked up, and something has a hold of you that's gonna break you and kill you in every way, slowly. And it was true at that time. And it wasn't just alcoholism. It was like situations, it was pain, it was being unable to see that I wasn't a piece of trash on the side of the road. It was understanding that what I learned growing up wasn't true, and that my parents were just broken people too, and that I had to find a way into my own beliefs and my own spiritual logic, and I had to start to listen to the universe and the grace of God, that could tell me, yeah, you're not broken, you belong to me, and I belong to you, and I cradle you in my heartbeat, no matter what's happening down in that place with those people around you. And I live that way today, and I want to share that today. I want to tell you, you have a chance. You have choices. You have opportunities. You can make a change. You can understand how you got to the place where you are if you're in pain. You can understand how to get out of it. You can make new choices about where you want to go. And every little breakthrough you make leads to the next breakthrough and the next breakthrough and the next breakthrough. And those next breakthroughs become the foundation for the next breakthroughs. Until the place where you realize, I'm standing on a new floor. All my breakthroughs built a new foundation for me. And I'm standing on a new floor. And now I can go to the next breakthroughs and get to the next place where I make shifts. And then I can make some goals because I have hope and I believe in myself and I realize I'm important and I have a purpose and I can discover that purpose. And then you land on another floor that says, now I can live it. Now I can live some choices that I want to live. Now I can experience my freedom. Now I can find my way into a new place of hope, new place of love, new place of freedom and abundance and joy and joyful responsibility. Like, it doesn't have to be so horrible. If I take charge of my life, there's empowerment in it. I have endless and endless and endless stories of transformation. Endless. It's such a beautiful, beautiful opportunity we have to open the door to life, to open the door to giving ourselves a chance to heal and transform. And if you can relate to me and you're listening to this and you're saying to yourself, wow, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Just start with a step. Just start with knowing and confessing to yourself. Become willing to just say, yeah, I'm fucked up. This is not working for me anymore. This is not who I want to be or how I want to live. This isn't it. I want something else. I want more. I want something else. And go for it. One little step. I can read. There's so many options for you today to infuse your mind with your truth. Seek the title of the book or the audio or the podcast that suits you and serves you. Seek it out. Check it out. Give yourself a chance to learn about what's going wrong with the way you're moving through your life. Find out what's going on with you so you can find out why things are breaking down. Stop seeking for what's wrong with you and start seeking what's going on with you. Great solution. Great solution. And give yourself a fucking chance, please, to just make a change. To step into the first step, which is hope, willingness, truth, knowing what it is, getting out of blame. One of the greatest things that you can do is just wonderful. Whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, you can do a prayer that is so meaningful and powerful. The Ho'oponopono prayer. And it goes just like this. You think of whatever it is that is painful, a time in your life, a behavior that you have, a person, a place, a thing. And you sit and you focus on that person, place, or thing, or that time, or that bothersome memory. And you say, I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please forgive me. And just breathe into that space and say those words again in any order. There's no perfect order, whatever calls to you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It doesn't matter. Just start somewhere. Just start. And watch the magic of this prayer. This intention to heal. Simple as that. Simple as that. Listen, fill your mind with words. Change those beliefs through filling your mind with new words, new opportunities, new paradigms. Give yourself a chance to believe something else. And through believing something else, you activate a change in the cells of your being. And when you activate a change in the cells of your being, you'll realize that you are limitless and things are possible. Because you shift what you know and have been believing is true for so long about you, whatever that is that you find painful. And it's interesting because I've worked with a lot of different people over my years of doing intuitive sessions and consultations and, healing opportunities and transformational coaching. And I've done a lot, over the course of this career that I have. And I've watched incredibly powerful people, really powerful people, have pain about their moms just like everybody else. I've worked with millionaires who suffer from their lack of self-care and need to understand how to love themselves a little bit more. I've helped people who are extremely stuck find their way to vulnerability and hearing the whispers of their dreams. There's a lot we can do from just being willing to say, yes, let me talk about this. Let me find a helper. Let me find a coach. Let me find a book. Let me find a podcast. Let me open the door and find my way through. Give yourself a chance, please. At that time in my life, I would have never thought I would be the person I am today. And I feel like, I'm very aware my life is built for transformation. And I've gone through, and I'm very, aware. Some of us, it's tough because we come from a lot of, damage that other people brought into our experiences. You feel like there's no way out. And there's not. But there's definitely a way through. There's definitely a way through. And on the other side of through are new doors and new beginnings and new opportunities where you get farther and farther away from what was. And from those beliefs that you learned. And every old one that you pull out and plant a new one changes everything. And then the new reality starts to become what you step into. And it becomes what you live. And that becomes your new memories. So give yourself a chance. I did. And I couldn't be more grateful to share and be able to communicate just like this with you. And be able to be honest about the pain I experienced through my alcoholism. And how much I am so, so grateful to the people who were willing to go before me and open the door to possibilities and self-actualization and facing responsibility and teaching me how to do it in those 12-step programs that helped me. And everyone who helped me after those, I still go, I go when I need to, I'm surrounded by many wonderful, powerful, healing people who help me when I need them. And sometimes even when I don't realize I need them. I've learned so much, and I continue to learn so much about all that is. About spiritual life, what my soul is made of, and how it helps me as a human find out what I'm made of and what I'm capable of. Still learning. And isn't that the joy in the whole journey, is going from one transformation to another until I find the treasure of who I am, onto the next treasure hunt, and onto the next treasure hunt. Thanks for listening. I hope this has inspired you to recognize you have a chance and you have a choice. And always, if you ever need anything, I'm easy to find. You can check my website, tappingintoit.com, or my website where my courses are and my platforms are, lisalajwa.mykajabi.com. Have yourself an absolutely amazing day. And don't forget, if you want to grow, just reach out. Just reach. Say yes. Become willing. Sending you loads of love. Namaste. Have an amazing day. This was Lisa Lajra. Bye for now.